Hey guys, Kevin here in Japan, and I wanted to make a video. It's kind of like a response video to Unrested, Scott in Osaka. He made a video called Gaijin Elitism, and I just finished watching it on my way home. And very interesting video. Elitism is something that sucks. Elitism is something that's prevalent in all aspects of life, in every culture. You know, there's a lot of different reasons for it, but often I think a lot of it has to do with insecurity. Some people need to feel that they are better than others or have some kind of power over others to make them feel better in life because they are not confident. So Scott mentioned a few things with Gaijin Elitism, and I know some of you out there don't like the word Gaijin, but really I don't care. I'm going to use it because it's kind of, I think, like embracing a term that kind of is a pejorative. Initially, it's kind of a pejorative term, and there was a police car pulling over a big truck. So kind of a pejorative term that so Gaijin means basically foreigner. Gaikokujin, foreigner. Gaikokujin is a more polite way of saying it. You know, foreigner is not a bad word. That's what it is, right? So I'm going to use the word Gaijin because I think it's okay. My opinion. So he mentioned the concept of foreigners, Gaijin, who use language to feel they're more superior to others, who use their jobs to feel that they're more superior to others. And so I'll kind of go with those two aspects. He mentioned some other things, being married to a Japanese national. So the concept of language. Yeah, there are some people, there's a lot of people you meet in Japan when you come here, foreigners, who speak very fluent Japanese. And some of them are very cool about that, and that's what they do. Some kind of assimilate somewhat into, the local culture community. If you're a foreigner, you never will be able to fully assimilate because you're a foreigner. That's just the way it is in a homogenous culture. That's reality. But there are some who kind of take their language ability and kind of hold it over others, make them try to feel that they're superior to others. So, for example, I've been living in Japan for like 7 years now. My Japanese isn't very good. A few different reasons. One, laziness. I'll man up to that. Number two, for most of the time I've been here, I've worked in a situation where I'm actually, believe it or not, in an English bubble. So those, like Scott mentioned, those who can't speak Japanese very fluently often can have a very interesting experience in Japan, maybe an experience that's different than mine. And that's great for them, good for them. But just because you can speak a language better than another person doesn't mean you're better than that person. I mean, we can all do things better than each other. Maybe that person spent so much time studying a language so they can speak Japanese better than me. But have they, for example, like I've run 10 full marathons in Japan. Can they do that? I once ran, after the tsunami and earthquake in 2011, I ran 38 miles in 35-degree summer heat. 38 miles, 60 kilometers, and I raised more than $4,000 for a children's charity. Did they do that? Maybe not. Am I holding that over other people to make, myself feel that I'm better? No, of course not. It's just something I did. And, if you can speak a language very well, that's awesome. Good for you. Congratulations. That's great. No, that is an accomplishment. No doubt about it. It's a great feather in the hat. But you got to think that these people that you might think you're better than because you can speak a language better than them, they've probably done things that you can't do and you haven't done. They've probably done, they've probably done some really great things. Language elitism is quite silly, but it is something that you may encounter when you come to Japan. It's very juvenile. It's very junior high school. It's very high school. But the sad thing is that you'll find adults who are just like that. So it kind of reminds me of like when I was in high school, I was really into lifting weights. I was a bit of a gym rat, and it was like the whole idea, like, hey man, how much can you bench? Same thing with like some younger foreigners and some older who are up here young, not in a good way, more of an immature way, who are like, yeah, how many kanji do you know? I know more kanji than you. I know more vocabulary than you. I can speak more than you. If you think that makes you a better person than others, you got some growing up to do. Also, the whole kind of job elitism. There's a lot of different foreigners who come to Japan. A lot of different foreigners who live here. They work on a lot of different jobs. A lot of Western foreigners who come to Japan come here working as teachers. a lot of them don't want to be teachers, but they come here because as teachers because it's a way to get here. It's an easier way to get here. You can get a visa, you can get here, you can get grounded, and then get into something you want to get into. I gotta admit, over my years of video blogging and podcasting, so many people have contacted me that say, like, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't like teaching, but you know, it's a way for me to get here. And I say, that's great. Come here as a teacher, get based, get grounded, and then move on to something else. Great, but there are people who like teaching, like Scott mentioned in his video, and it's true. And there are people who are teachers like me. Like I went to university to become a teacher. Not an English teacher, but to become an elementary school teacher and a kindergarten teacher, and that's what I am. I am a kindergarten teacher. I'm an elementary school teacher. I love it. I mean, here I was a kindergarten teacher for years in Japan. Now I'm an elementary school teacher. I work in international setting. So, you know, but when I go to Canada, I'm a teacher. That's what I do. I'm a province of Ontario teacher. I'm an IB World teacher. You know, and because I have my teaching degree, does that make me better than someone who is like an ALT teaching in a public school in Japan? Absolutely not. I spent 7 months working as an ALT in Osaka. And you know what? Damn it. Those people, they earn their money. Let me tell you, that's not an easy job. That's not an easy job. I got respect. It's very different than the job I do. It's very different than the job I do. But man, respect for all of you out there who are ALTs working in public schools in Japan. You earn your paycheck, and I'm gonna be very honest. Let's put down my collar. Your paychecks are too small, and that sucks. But you definitely work hard, and you should be proud of yourselves. But there are those who come here as teachers, and then they move on. They get into something else. They move out of it. They get into maybe translation, or they get into which is great, or they get into some other kind of, they work for a Japanese company, they get very proficient in Japanese, but then all of a sudden they think they're better than the people who they used to associate with. I was a teacher, but now I'm not a teacher, therefore I'm better than teachers. No, you're not. You just have a different job. Really? And Scott made a very interesting point, where he has some friends who own English schools, and he's got these, like, you know, I get these folks who make like, you know, $3,000 a month working at a Japanese company, and they're like, I work at a Japanese company, I'm better than you. But you get some, you know, foreigner who owns an English school, and they probably make double, triple, quadruple, or more the salary of that person, because they own a school. Teaching is a very respectable trade, very good stuff. Yeah, so Gaijin Elitism, foreigner elitism, it is very real. We could talk about this for hours. This is a good topic for the Just Japan podcast. I think I need to get a panel together and talk about this. This is very good. Get like PJ and Molly and a few other people on and talk about this. I think this would be a very good topic for my podcast, which the links are below, by the way, for the Just Japan podcast. So guys, I don't know, just kind of rambling. I wanted to talk to you. Hope you enjoyed the video. And that is it. Kevin in Japan, talking about how some foreigners sometimes think they're better than others. That's a shame that that happens, because, you know, anywhere in life, none of us are honestly better than others. Unless you're like a criminal, or a miscreant, or something like that. A rabble-rouser. But yeah, you know, everyone does things that, you know, we all have different things that we do that have their merits. Alright guys, check the link below. I'm just yammering now.